After removing Maduro from Venezuela, Trump has now started increasing pressure on Cuba. Trump says that Cuba will also fall soon. The justification Trump gives for this is that Cuba's communist government is a threat to America's national security. This is because Cuba supports America's adversaries such as Russia, China, and Iran. So as per Trump, Cuba works against American interests. It gives shelter to people who pose a threat to the United States. Along with this, Cuba also hosts foreign intelligence facilities through which spying is carried out on the US. That is why Trump believes that it is now necessary to show economic power to Cuba. This is the basic reason behind the economic blackmail of Cuba. The US is continuously trying to choke Cuba's economy. Trump has threatened that any country which supplies oil to Cuba will face tariffs. That means any country that helps Cuba survive economically will be punished by the United States. Now, to run its economy, Cuba has to import most of its oil. But due to American pressure, Venezuela, which used to be Cuba's top oil supplier, has recently not been able to supply oil to Cuba. And at present, Mexico is Cuba's main oil lifeline. But Trump wants to cut this off as well. Essential services inside Cuba are at risk of collapse. This now looks like a pattern. The American administration has started using tariff threats as a foreign policy tool. For example, tariffs were imposed on countries buying Venezuelan oil. Then tariffs were imposed on India for buying Russian oil. In the same way, threats are now being made to impose tariffs on countries supplying oil to Cuba. By doing this, Trump is trying to put pressure on the Cuban government to make a deal with the United States. In a way, Trump is trying to control the energy choices of other countries. In a broader sense, the US wants to assert its dominance over global politics. It wants to control which countries other nations trade with. This power politics of America is creating a US versus anti-US divide. It is continuously reducing diplomatic space for neutral countries. Every country wants its own diplomatic space. Every country wants the freedom to remain neutral. Every country wants to balance relations with multiple nations to meet its national interests. Look at India. India trades with the US, China, and Russia. India engages diplomatically with both Russia and Ukraine. India maintains relations with bitter enemies like Israel and Iran. This is India's diplomatic flexibility. Every country wants such diplomatic space. But under Trump, this space is shrinking. The American mindset has generally been that if you are not with us, then you are against us. But under Trump, this mentality has become much stronger. The current US regime is forcing countries to make binary choices to meet American interests. It is threatening to cut off access to the US market. It is making neutrality more difficult. It is pressuring countries to align with US foreign policy. To do this, the Trump administration is leveraging America's economic strength. As a result, three types of blocs are forming in the world. The first bloc is the pro-US bloc. These are countries that are joining the American camp due to US pressure. To avoid punishment from Trump, they are aligning closely with the US. In this process, they are sacrificing their strategic autonomy to gain security and trade access from the US. Countries like South Korea, Japan, Israel are some examples. The second bloc is the anti-US bloc. This includes countries that are already under US sanctions, such as Russia, North Korea, and Iran. Venezuela and Cuba are also in this bloc. These countries are condemning American actions. They are coordinating more closely with each other. They are forming an anti-US camp. The third bloc consists of countries that want neutrality. At present, these countries are stuck in a serious dilemma. They are under intense pressure to pick a side. Countries like India, Brazil, Mexico fall into this category. Due to Trump's policies, even Canada and some European countries are also appearing to be in this bloc these days. Due to growing resentment caused by American pressure, these countries will gradually move away from the US. They will diversify their partnerships to reduce dependence on America. India's recent trade deals with the UK and the European Union are examples of this. The American administration is failing to understand that neutral countries do not want to compromise their strategic autonomy. Their argument is very clear. They are not opposing the US. They are simply prioritizing their national interests. They will buy cheap energy from wherever it is available. No other country will decide who they trade with. The problem is that the Trump administration treats non-alignment as disloyalty. It threatens punishment. Because of this, ties between these countries and the US are getting strained. Mistrust towards America is increasing. Questions are being raised about America's reliability. This was visible in Trump's international club, Board of Peace. Many major and important countries totally ignored it and did not join. The US needs to understand that if it continues to close diplomatic space for countries, nations will move away from America. They will increase cooperation among themselves. They will look for alternatives to American financial systems and trade routes. As a result, Trump's worst fears will slowly start coming true. These fears include de-dollarization, South-South cooperation, parallel institutions, and the fall of the American empire. Look, you cannot force every country into rigid alliances every time. If you disrespect even your allies, then sooner or later, only weak and submissive countries will remain in your camp. And every self-respecting country will eventually move away from you. I hope this video has given you insight into the pressure being built on Cuba under America's broader strategy. What do you think about this? Tell us in the comment section. That is all for this session. Thank you for your time.